So I spent 12 years in school, 12 years. And in those 12 years, I learned about the American Revolution. I learned how to dissect a frog. I learned the quadratic formula, which I have genuinely never used a single time in my adult life. But nobody, not one teacher, not one class, not one single day, taught me how money actually works. Nobody taught me what a credit score was or why it mattered. Nobody explained compound interest in a way that made me understand it could either make me rich or keep me broke depending on which side of it I was on. Nobody told me what an index fund was. Nobody explained taxes beyond the government takes some of your paycheck. Nobody walked me through what a 401k actually does or why you'd want one. And here's the thing, I don't think that's an accident. I think there are real structural reasons why financial education is kept out of schools. But that's a whole separate conversation. What I care about right now is making sure that the stuff you didn't learn in school, the stuff that actually determines the quality of your financial life as an adult, you learn today, right here in this video. Because the gap between people who understand money and people who don't isn't a gap in intelligence or work ethic or ambition. It's almost entirely a gap in information. And information is something we can fix. Let's go. So compound interest gets talked about a lot in personal finance content. And I know it can start to feel like a cliche. Oh yeah, compound interest, heard it, got it, moving on. But I genuinely don't think most people understand how insane it actually is when you sit down and look at the real numbers over real time periods. So bear with me here because I want to show you something. If you invest $5,000 one single time at age 20 and never touch it, never add another dollar, just leave it alone, and it earns the historical stock market average of around 10% per year. By the time you're 65, that $5,000 becomes roughly $364,000. You put in $5,000, you got back $364,000. You didn't work for that extra money. You didn't do anything clever. You just left it alone and let time do the thing that time does when money is invested. That's compound interest working for you. Now here's the dark side that nobody talks about enough. Compound interest works exactly the same way against you when you're carrying debt. A credit card with a $5,000 balance at 22% interest that you're only making minimum payments on, that balance doesn't stay at $5,000. It grows. Every month, the interest gets added to the balance, and then next month, you're paying interest on a larger number, and it compounds. Just like investments compound, except instead of making you richer, it's making the credit card company richer while making you poorer. The exact same force, just pointing in the opposite direction. School could have taught you this. It probably should have, but it didn't. So now you know. Remember how much your GPA seemed to matter in school? Like teachers acted like your grades were going to follow you everywhere for the rest of your life? Well, your credit score actually kind of does that, except in real life. Your credit score is a 3-digit number that tells lenders, banks, credit card companies, mortgage companies, how likely you are to pay back money you borrow. Higher score means you're considered more reliable. Lower score means you're considered a risk. And here's the part that surprises people. Your credit score doesn't just affect whether you can get a loan. It affects the interest rate you get on that loan. And the difference between a good credit score and a bad one on something like a mortgage can cost you, I'm not exaggerating here, tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. Sometimes more. Like 2 people buy the same house for the same price. Same down payment. Everything identical except one has great credit and one has bad credit. The person with bad credit might pay $200 or $300 more per month for the exact same house because their interest rate is higher. But over 30 years, that's potentially $70,000 or $80,000 more for the same house. And it's not just loans. Some landlords check your credit before renting to you. Some employers check it before hiring you. Insurance companies in some states use it to set your premiums. Your credit score is quietly affecting your financial life in ways most people don't realize until it's already caused damage. The basics of building good credit aren't complicated. Pay your bills on time every single month. That's the biggest factor by far. Keep your credit card balances low relative to your limit. Don't open a bunch of new accounts at once. And check your credit report periodically for errors because errors happen more than you'd think and they can hurt your score for no reason. School could have covered this in like one class period. Instead, we learned about photosynthesis for the 3rd time. Most people's entire understanding of taxes is that the government takes some money out of every paycheck, and then once a year you do this annoying filing thing, and sometimes you get a refund which feels like a gift, even though it's literally just your own money coming back to you. And that's fine as a starting point. But taxes are so much more complex and so much more manageable than most people realize. And understanding even the basics can save you a genuinely significant amount of money over your lifetime. Here's one thing that's